No, I'm not okay. You guys completely abandoned me. I have had the worst week of my life. And I needed you.
Sing it.
My man is not about inside your little fucking sock. Things fall apart until none of it was real.
I see you as you see yourself through all the books you read, overwhelmed with guilt and realizing the disease.
I don't know what to do, man. Look, I'm in a bad spot.
Is there anything I can do for you, dear? Is there anyone I could call?
God knows what is hiding in those weak and drunken.
I look to you, but I see nothing.
No, it's for the better. No, it's for.
But we go days without having a meaningful conversation. And I used to miss you so much when that happened. But it never seemed like you missed me.
I'm fine. Why is everyone like so dramatic?
Thought you had your shit together, but damn, I was wrong. You were nothing but a lost cause.
Hey, I'd be the last person to judge somebody by their clothes. Come on, look at me.
What? You look incredible.
Looking at me now, I can see my past. Damn, I look just like my fucking dad.
And if you hurt me, that's okay, baby. Only once, please.
How are you? I'm okay.
Do you know how I hate the rain? And it rains in this world.
The only thing that can hurt me is you. And I don't have anything else to be afraid of. You're my only reason.
Do you think I'm a good person? Deep down?
That's the thing. I don't think I believe in deep down. I kind of think all you are is just the things that you do.
Christ, I'm never good. I'll nail my hands up to the wall.
How does that even make it? You just stabbed me? What is your problem?
She looks pretty. Yeah. But I feel bad for her. She's about to cry.
Here's one. I stay awake at night because I don't even know what my favorite color is, and I'm afraid I don't have a real personality.
I always say just morning instead of good morning. Because if it were a good morning, I'd be fishing.
I'll love you forever, Sid.
You will?
Yes. That's the problem.
I cried a million rivers for you, but that's over now.
Will you still walking around?
Tell your baby that I'm your baby. I bet on losing though.
You make me feel like a fool, waiting
rest your head and go to sleep. Maybe one day we'll wake up and this'll all just be a dream. Now hush, little baby, don't you?
I just wanna feel your love again.
I want you to be alive. You don't gotta die.
Maybe I'm just not as interesting as the girls you had before.
I wouldn't wanna be anybody else.
I wanted to be your woman, I wanted to be your man, I wanted to be the one that you could understand. Tell me.
Murder, 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 do my murder dance. Murder, 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 man.
I know that you love me. You don't need to remind me.
You being too cordial with hoes that ain't gonna ride for you. That's the thing. They ain't gonna be there for you. The only one gonna be there for you is the bitch that been rocking with you. That's me. Anytime you get in some shit, so I can't even accept that from you.
That you lie. Now I know that you love me.
I need it to stop.
You know what to stop.
All the times I waited for you to want me naked.
And I've never felt more alone.
You know, it's funny, because the last time I saw you, you told me that you needed me in your life, and then you just disappeared. So how do you think that makes me feel?
If he wants to talk to me, he will. If he doesn't, then I guess that's it.
Honey, I know you. Float right past.
This shit's so damn embarrassing, like
knowing nothing in life, but I gotta get rich. You could check the throwback pics, I've been that bitch. I'm a hot girl.
Will I get over it? No. But life goes on.
I'm thankful for my sister, even though sometimes we fight. When high school wasn't easy, she's the reason I survived. I know she never leave me and I hate to see her cry. Wrote this verse to tell her that I'm always by her side. Wrote this verse to tell her that I'm always by her side. I wrote this verse to tell her that.
I don't wanna talk right now. Don't know where you are right now. I just wanna watch TV. Did you see me on TV? I don't wanna be the owner of your fantasy. I just wanna be a part of your family. And I don't wanna. Oh, Mom, you knew what was going on with all those clothes and shit.
He was a grown man and you were 15. Vanessa, you didn't ask for that. You were just trying to go to school.
Bojack, I don't like anything about me.
Hey.
None of this is me. This house isn't me. The only reason I wear this shirt is because some company paid me.
Will be mine. He doesn't have a choice.
We keep this love in a photograph.
You're just jealous, Lisa. Because I got better. Because I was released.
hate me. What did you just say? I said I hate me. I hate myself.
He called you back, wait, wasn't he mine? One moment we're broken. All your friends that I'm crazy and drive you mad that I'm such a stalker.
Here's one. I stay awake at night because I don't even know what my favorite color is, and I'm afraid I don't have a real personality. I'm not like you, Reagan. I physically need people to like me.
I just
wanted a...
And I'm virtually yours.
Turn me inside out, then you want the outside in. You spin me all around, then you ask me not to spin. You say you wanna be alone and that you want children. You wanna be with me, you wanna be with him. You give me chills, I've had it with the chills. I'm nothing, you are nothing, we are nothing with the pills. I'm empty till she fills, alive until she kills. In her empire, I am falling.
She told me that she loved me by the water fountain. She told me that she loved me and she didn't love him. And that was really lovely cause it was innocent. But now she's got a cup with something else in it. It's getting kinda blurry at 10:15. And he was in a hurry to be touching her skin. She's feeling kinda dirty when she's dancing with him, forgetting what she told me by the water fountain.
Ya sé, porque lo hago una y otra vez y otra vez y otra vez y siempre hago cosas por las demás personas. Y cuando despierto estoy completamente vacía, no tengo nada.
¿De qué estás hablando? Me parecías una chica ruda que hacías las cosas tú sola.
Yo siempre me meto en estas malditas situaciones. Le doy todo a las personas y nadie jamás me... nunca obtengo lo que...
So why were you holding her hand? Is that the way we stand? Were you lying all the time? Was it just a game to you? But I'm in so deep. You know I'm such a fool for you. You've got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to, do you have to, do you have to let it linger? So why were you holding her hand? Is that the way we stand? Were you lying all the time? Was it just a game to you? But I'm in so deep. You know I'm such a fool for you. You've got me wrapped around your finger. Do you have to let it linger? Do you have to, do you have to, do you have to let it linger?
This song has been stuck in my head for weeks, and I just keep on seeing it on my For You page, so I figured I might as well decide Fueling the Fire and give it a go. So I hope you like it. What should I get you off? Taking down her hair like, oh my god. Taking off her shirt, I did that once or twice, so no one I'll fuck off. But I think I like her, she's so fun. When I think I hate her, I'm not that involved. Sorry, she's missing it. Sad, sad boy, not my business. But I had to warn her, ooh, that you thinking she's so cool? Kicking back on the couch, making eyes from across the room. Wait, I think I've been there too. God, that was bad. I'm so sorry. And I know that you love me. You don't have to remind me. You wanna put it all behind me, but baby, I see her in the back of my mind all the time. Feels like a fever, like I'm burning alive, like a sign. Did I cross the line?
Jesus allowed his body to be torn to shreds so that our bodies could be healed for eternity. Like, please don't miss that, because I was thinking about that today with the Lord. And I was reading Luke 6, and it talks about how the Pharisees bring this man to Jesus on the Sabbath to see if Jesus will heal him so that they can accuse him. Because you're not supposed to do work on the Sabbath. The thing is, the very thing that would bring someone new life, they wanted to use to bring forth Jesus' death. But the crazy thing is, this passage literally says, but he knew their thoughts. And you know what he still does? He still heals this man. And the Pharisees are so upset that the verse literally states they discussed what they might do to Jesus. See, these men were so focused on what they considered their truth, that when Jesus did something miraculous to showcase the coming freedom that his death would bring, the Pharisees completely missed it and caused his death. Pride will cause you to miss the very freedom Jesus brings.
Comparison is killing me slowly. I think too much, but kids who don't know me, I'm so sick of myself. Rather be anyone else. Jealousy, yeah. I'm so sick of myself. Rather be, yeah. Anyone else. Jealousy, stay fire with me.
I don't wanna call it all, but you don't wanna call it love. You only wanna be the one that I call baby. You can kiss 100 boys in bars and shoot another shot. Try to stop the feeling. You can say it's just the way you are. Make a new excuse, another stupid reason. Good luck, babe. Well, good luck, babe. You have to stop the world just to stop the feeling. Good luck, babe. Well, good luck, babe. You'd have to stop the world just to stop the feeling.
Quem você procura por ajuda?
Ninguém. Minha psicóloga. Ninguém.
O que você quer dizer para o seu eu do próximo ano?
Se prepara. Não seja mais idiota. Se coloque em primeiro lugar. Porque parece que você se odeia muito e coloca sempre o bem-estar dos outros à frente do seu bem-estar. Se dedica, segue o fluxo e faz tudo que tiver vontade de fazer.
Que conselho daria para o seu eu de um ano atrás?
Pra eu não me preocupar com coisas irrelevantes, que ia ter fases e fases, e eu ia ficar muito mal ainda, ia passar por muita merda. Tu vai se fuder bem.
Olha, um conselho.
Confie nos seus pais. Sério, não sei não. Não pira, que vai dar tudo certo. E você vai ser muito feliz.
I am not pushing you away, Lucas. I am holding on for dear life, but I need you to need me back. Okay, why wouldn't you tell me about the kiss? Why didn't you call me while you were away? And why won't you ever just let me all the way in?
he saw the comet. And suddenly his life had meaning. I can't marry you.
Girls were crying, girls were lying, girls will do it till they die for you. They're crying, girls will lie till the day they die for you.
She never came back. Ruined my life.
Lose their goddamn minds for you. Crying, girls will
Luke!
Hey, can I get a ride?
Yeah, let's go.
girls will do it till they die for you. They're crying, girls will
I was standing right there when he called.
And you just called me a slut.
So you lied to me to punish me? How could you do that?
How could you cheat on me with my best friend?
I never meant to hurt you.
It doesn't really matter, Lucas. Because in the end, it all hurts just the same.
You know something? Life is fucking hard, okay? And it'll always be hard, right? And when you're by yourself, you gotta think to yourself, you know, am I really in this alone, okay? But when you have a fucking brother, when you got somebody by your side, putting in the work, right next to you day by day, okay? The hard shit in life becomes fun because you're doing it together. You're doing it for a deeper purpose. You're doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for the man next to you, okay? And he's doing it for you as well. If you have a brother in your life, you gotta fucking do it together, okay? The power in the team, right? And you got somebody that will always have your back. You got somebody that's gonna struggle right by your fucking side, okay? And there's nothing in life I wouldn't trade for this, okay? So if you have a fucking brother, you gotta team up, okay? That's how you're gonna take over the world. That's how you're gonna fucking conquer your dreams, all right? We're doing this for bigger things, okay? And now we got each other. Anything is fucking possible. Let's go.
I saw in the reddest way, looking like and had the way that the one she hid it and called, and then she came up to my knees, begging, baby, would you please do the things you said you'd do to me, oh, would you kiss me on the mouth and love me like a sailor, and when you get a taste, can you tell me what's my flavor? I don't believe in God, but I believe that you're my savior. My mom says that she's worried, but I'm covered in this favor. And when we're getting dirty, I forget all that is wrong. I sleep so I can see you, 'cause I hate to wait so long. I sleep so I can see you, and I hate to wait so long. I don't know how the end goes. I can't figure it out.
The cannibal frat boy. He was a normal teen until one day he did the unthinkable. It was Florida, 2016. Austin Harriff was 19 years old. He was a sophomore in college. He was in a frat. He was an athlete. By all accounts, just a very normal fraternity bro. Until like June, July 2016, when Austin's friends and family started to realize that he wasn't acting the same. He was acting really, really strange and having these really, really extreme mood swings. Austin said that around this time he was hearing voices and felt like evil forces were following him. Austin was also making some really concerning Google searches at this time. Things like, am I crazy? How to know if you're going crazy? Hearing voices in my sleep, hallucinations, and schizophrenia, just to name a few. At this time, Austin was very paranoid about demons. He felt like he might be Jesus or possibly a half-human, half-dog hybrid. His little sister would lock her door at night because she was afraid of him. Within a month or two of Austin's behavior changing, everyone's lives would change forever. Austin's friends and family said that they were very concerned about Austin, but no one seriously intervened and got him help, which takes us to the tragic events of August 15th, 2016. People that saw Austin that day said that he was acting weird. Later that evening, he went to a restaurant with his dad, sister, and some other people, but before the food ever even got to the table, Austin got up to use the bathroom and just left the restaurant without telling anyone. Austin walked 2 miles to his mother's house, but his mother had already gotten a call from her other child saying, hey, we were all at a restaurant and Austin has disappeared. Do you know where Austin is? His mother drove Austin back to the restaurant. She said that the time they spent together, Austin was acting really weird. He was saying really weird things, and he even tried to drink cooking oil while in her home. Back at the restaurant, Austin's dad was pretty much fed up with Austin. His son has been acting weird all summer, and now they've tried to go out to dinner and have a nice evening, and his son just got up and left without telling anyone. So Austin and his dad got into an altercation, which led to Austin getting up and leaving the restaurant once again. This time, Austin is walking in the direction of his father's house. He said while he was walking, he was hearing voices. Demons were following him, and he even saw something that resembled the Grim Reaper. So now Austin is terrified and he's running. He runs right up to what he said looked like a white light, thinking that this might be a safe space for him. But when he got to the white light, he saw a witch, and then the witch started to scream. So Austin began to attack the witch. The white light that Austin saw and ran up to was actually the garage light of the home of Michelle and John Stevens. They had this really cool garage that they set up really cool with couches and stuff, and most evenings they would entertain or just relax in that garage with the garage door open. And tragically, that's what Michelle and John Stevens did that evening. The witch that Austin attacked and was now stabbing repeatedly was Michelle. Her husband John heard his wife's screams and tried to go and help her, but Austin began to attack and stab him as well. A neighbor that lived across the street also heard what was going on and tried to go and help his neighbors. Austin also stabbed that neighbor, but that neighbor thankfully was able to get away, survive, and call 911 for help.
Please, get medical. Young man beating up a woman across the street.
Are either of them injured? Can you tell from where you are?
Yes, there's a girl laying on the ground. He beat her up. I ran over there. I'm bleeding profusely here at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Can you tell if she's conscious?
No, it does not appear so, no.
Strangely enough, at the exact same time, Austin's mom called 911 to report her son missing.
I don't know how to do this. My son, he's taken off. It seems like he's a little delusional. It says, he feels immortal and like a superhero. So I don't know what's going on with him. And he was out to dinner with his dad today and he took off.
You left on foot?
Yes. He has no ID on him, no phone. We'll say, I think the only thing he has on him is a pocket knife switchblade.
When police got to the scene, it was a brutal sight. Tragically, Michelle and John had already passed away, and Austin was on top of John like an animal. He was growling and eating John's face and chest. The police at the scene said that Austin was having somewhat superhuman strength, that it took 4 police officers, a taser, and a police dog to get Austin off of John. He said that he seemed unfazed while he was being tased and while the canine was ripping out his arm. To the surprise of many, there was not a single illegal substance found in Austin's system other than a small trace amount of plant, which honestly blew everyone's mind in the media, the police officers, because everyone was convinced that Austin had to be tweaking out on some pretty gnarly substances. Multiple psychiatrists examined Austin and all of them said that he was experiencing a psychotic break. Which, yeah, I 100% believe that if everything Austin said he was experiencing is true. I think it's really sad that no one intervened in his life before this. I think, in my personal opinion, that this was 100% preventable if someone had gotten him professional mental help. 2022, Austin Harif was found not guilty by reason of insanity for killing John and Michelle Stevens. A ruling that to say was upsetting for the loved ones of John and Michelle would be an understatement.
You are a disgusting human with a rancid soul, a sick animal that should have been put down a long time ago. You deserve nothing more than to feel despair and debilitating guilt for what you did every second of the day for the rest of your sad, meaningless, and pathetic life. I hope death comes for you sooner than later, and when it does, I will rejoice, because only then will justice be truly served for John and Michelle. Thank you. I hope you burn in hell, along with your parents. Wade, you're disgusting.
And I completely understand how they're feeling. A lot of victims' families feel some kind of comfort or closure knowing that their loved one's killer was brought to justice, and that's something that they're never going to be able to experience. I couldn't even imagine someone I love being brutally killed and you knowing who did it, but still hearing that not guilty verdict. I don't know how I would handle that, and I don't know how I would be able to ever cope with that. So I 100% understand their anger. This is so upsetting because there were so many red flags that the situation with Austin was a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. If you watched to the end of this video, thank you so much. And to the loved ones of Michelle and John, I am so sorry and I sympathize with you so much, and don't let anyone tell you that you don't have a right to be angry. If you watched to the end and listened to John and Michelle's story, thank you so much. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is the most infamous, well-known female serial killer of all time, Elaine Wuornos. And the interesting thing about Elaine that I think makes her so intriguing to so many people is that she's a serial killer who a lot of people have a lot of sympathy for. So Elaine's parents got married when her mom was only 14 years old and her dad was 18. Elaine never knew her biological father because he was sentenced to life in prison for essaying a 7-year-old girl and then unalived himself behind bars. Elaine's mother really struggled with motherhood. She became a mother when she was only like 15 years old and then had Elaine a year later at 16. So she actually abandoned Elaine and Elaine's older brother when they were like extremely young, like 3 years old, something like that. And then Elaine and her older brother were adopted by their grandparents, but they were both raised thinking that their grandparents were actually their parents, and then their actual mother was their older sister. Elaine's grandfather, that she believed was her father, was extremely abusive, and he began to essay Elaine when she was only a child, and that's already terrible. But then he went on to let his friends pass Elaine around. Elaine was a very lonely child. She was very unhappy. She was very angry. She was very defensive. She had trouble making friends, and then when she made friends, she had trouble keeping friends. She thought that everyone was just always making fun of her all the time, even if they weren't. Just very defensive. She was very desperate for love, connection, and attention, but she had a warped sense of what all of that meant and how to get it. She was a very pretty child, so at 11 years old, she began to use her body to get attention and favors from neighborhood boys. Some of those neighborhood kids went on to later say that it was very well-known knowledge around the neighborhood that Elaine and her older brother started an inappropriate, intimate relationship when Elaine was only 11 years old as well. At only 13 years old, Elaine became pregnant, presumably by one of her grandfather's friends that had been essaying her for years at this point. At 14 years old, she gave birth to a little baby boy, but that baby was forcibly taken from her by her grandfather and then put up for adoption without Elaine's consent at all. To this day, her child's identity is a mystery. It's unclear if he even knows that he is Elaine's child. At only 15 years old, Elaine was kicked out of her house by her grandfather. She did S work to survive. She committed some other minor crimes before hitchhiking to Florida. And in Florida, at only 20 years old, Elaine married a 69-year-old man, but the marriage only lasted 9 weeks before he annulled the marriage and got a restraining order against his wife. After her marriage was over, Elaine continued to do S work as well as other crimes, including an armed robbery of a convenience store where Elaine walked away with only $35 and 2 packs of smokes, which she served over a year in prison for. Doesn't seem worth it to me, honestly. Elaine would be in and out of prison for this for many different crimes. She continued to do S work, but she was completely alone. Her life was in a downward spiral. She had no hope of getting out of it until 1986, when Elaine met the love of her life, a 24-year-old woman named Tyra Moore. Elaine would continue to do S work despite her girlfriend's wishes, but this time it really seemed like Elaine had something to live for. She had someone for the first time in her life loved her unconditionally, but sadly her life would not be going back on track. Only 3 years later, in 1989, a man named Richard Mallory picked Elaine up for her services. What Elaine did not know about this man was he had already previously spent time behind bars for essaying a woman. Elaine claims that once he got her alone, he beat her and then violently essayed her, threatened to unalive her, so Elaine shot him. With a firearm that she always kept in her bag, Elaine would kill and rob a total of 7 men in the span of only 1 year, some of which happened only days apart from each other. These men were white men. They were always her clients, and they were, in the age ranges of like 40 to like 60. And she was able to get away with this for so long because no one, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, expected this kind of crime from a woman. People say that she killed like a man. She was only ever caught after a witness saw her in the stolen vehicle of one of her victims. She also carelessly left fingerprints behind. After she was arrested, she did confess to killing all 7 men, but she was adamant that they were all done in self-defense after the men each either attempted or succeeded in beating and or essaying her. And many men at the time were very skeptical that many men would attempt or succeed in essaying the same S worker in the span of 1 year. But many S workers at the time did say that that kind of thing really was that common. Ultimately, Elaine was found guilty and then she was sentenced to death row. She went on to say that she did not get a fair trial because a lot of evidence that she had that proved that she had been essayed by these men were not shown or weren't allowed during her trial. She tried to appeal multiple times, but they were always denied. A lot of people do believe that since she was a queer woman and it was the early 90s, that maybe that had something to do with it. And on October 9th of 2002, at the age of 46 years old, Elaine was executed. Today, in 2024, people feel a lot differently about Elaine than they did when this was all happening, and I do think that there's a lot of different reasons for that. Her tragic childhood being one reason, the fact that she was clearly a traumatized person, that trauma followed her all throughout her childhood into her adulthood, affected every aspect of her life, every relationship she had ever been in. Many people also truly do believe that she was telling the truth and all these crimes were committed in self-defense. There's also a lot of people that argue that in society, people are less likely to see grown men as victims and have sympathy for them as victims. There is really only 3 theories that people believe about the true motives of Elaine Wuornos. The first being that Elaine really was attacked by all these men and that all of these crimes were committed in self-defense. The second being that she was essayed only by her first victim. That man that had a history of essaying women had spent time for it previously, and that crime was committed in self-defense, and then afterwards she kind of attacked all men and it was kind of like a trauma response. And the third being that after a lifetime of abuse, Elaine truly, deeply hated men and one day snapped. I really don't know what I think. I think all of them are equally plausible. I'm really interested to get your guys' take on this case, what you think the true motive of Elaine was. So let me know all your thoughts, theories, questions in the comments section. And while you're there, please let me know what case you want to see me cover next. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you tomorrow.